Sunday, September 22nd, I'm going to be at the grand opening of the Empire Training Institute. Make sure I pull up to support and meet other people that's trying to win just like you. Let's go.
William Todd Austin, a 37-year-old entrepreneur who had built his reputation as Dallas's go-to credit repair expert. William wasn't just any client. He was a kind of success story that inspired others. His credit coaching business had transformed countless financial futures, and his confident demeanor and sharp business acumen had earned him respect throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. To those around him, he appeared to have it all: a thriving company, financial freedom, and the kind of lifestyle most people only dream about. But success in business doesn't always translate to peace in personal relationships.
Tonight we're learning new information about a man who was getting his hair cut at a salon when he was shot and killed.
The victim, identified by family and friends as 37-year-old Todd Austin, was getting his hair cut by Dax the barber, a popular Arlington stylist. Dax, who didn't want to go on camera, told us she fired several shots, striking Austin in the chest area. He's been his customer for 12 years and says on his Facebook page that his clients are his extended family.
Stay tuned as we reveal everything about this case. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about this story. Welcome to our channel. Please like this video, share and subscribe to this channel to help raise awareness and spread caution. Let's begin. As William settled into the stylist chair that March afternoon, he had no idea that someone from his past was about to shatter not just his world, but the lives of everyone present. The woman who had once shared his bed, his business dreams, and given birth to his child was about to make a decision that would end two lives in the most public and devastating way possible. Michelle Williams had been more than just William's girlfriend. She was his business partner, the mother of his child, and someone who knew every detail of his daily routine. She knew exactly where he'd be that Tuesday afternoon, just as she knew that their relationship had reached a point of no return. What started as a love story between two ambitious entrepreneurs had transformed into something far more dangerous. The same passion that had once fueled their business success had now become a destructive force that neither of them could control. The other clients in the salon continued their conversations, completely unaware that they were about to witness one of the most shocking acts of domestic violence Arlington had ever seen. The stylists continued their work, focused on creating the perfect cuts and styles for their afternoon appointments. William adjusted in his chair, probably thinking about his next business meeting or perhaps the new relationship he'd recently begun. He had made the difficult decision to end things with Michelle, despite their shared history and their child together. Moving forward meant leaving behind not just a romantic relationship, but also a business partnership that had once seemed unbreakable. For Michelle, however, moving forward wasn't an option she was willing to accept. No one could have predicted that this ordinary Tuesday would become a day that would shake the Dallas business community to its core. The credit repair guru who had helped so many people rebuild their financial lives was about to have his own life cut short in the most unexpected and tragic way. As Michelle made her way toward the salon that day, she carried with her not just the pain of a relationship that ended, but also a weapon that would ensure the story would have no happy ending. The woman who had once been William's closest partner was now his greatest threat. The next few minutes would transform a routine haircut appointment into a crime scene, leaving the community in shock and a child without both parents. What happened next would forever change how those present thought about love, obsession, and the thin line between passion and violence. This is a tragic story of William Todd Austin and Michelle Williams, a tale that serves as a stark reminder that sometimes the people closest to us can become our greatest danger. What's the most unexpected place you've witnessed drama unfold? Let me know in the comments below. William Todd Austin represented the American dream in action. At 37 years old, he had built something remarkable from the ground up. A credit repair business that didn't just make money, but genuinely changed people's lives. In a world where financial literacy often feels like a luxury only the wealthy can afford, William made it accessible to everyday people struggling with damaged credit scores and financial setbacks. His journey to success wasn't handed to him on a silver platter. Like many entrepreneurs, William understood the value of hard work and persistence. He recognized that in America, your credit score often determines your access to opportunities. From securing a home loan to starting a business, from getting approved for a car loan to sometimes even landing certain jobs. The credit repair industry can be filled with scammers and get-rich-quick schemes, but William approached it differently. He built his reputation on genuine results and honest communication with his clients. People trusted him because he delivered on his promises. When someone came to him with a credit score in the 400s, crushed by past financial mistakes or circumstances beyond their control, William saw potential where others saw problems. His business model was straightforward but effective. He educated clients about credit reporting, helped them dispute inaccurate information, and provided strategies for rebuilding their financial standing. But more than that, he gave people hope. He showed them that past financial mistakes didn't have to define their future possibilities. William's success made him a prominent figure in the Dallas business community. He wasn't just making money, he was making a difference. His clients often spoke about how his guidance had opened doors they thought were permanently closed. Some were able to buy their first homes. Others could finally get business loans to start their own companies. And many simply gained the financial confidence they've been lacking for years. But success in business often comes with personal sacrifices, and William's story was no exception. The same drive and ambition that made him successful in his professional life had also led him into a complicated personal relationship that would ultimately cost him everything. His relationship with Michelle Williams had begun like many modern love stories. Two ambitious people who found each other and decided to build something together. Michelle wasn't just his romantic partner. She became deeply involved in his business operations. They shared not only intimate moments, but also business strategies, client information, and future plans. The decision to mix business with romance created a unique dynamic between them. Michelle knew the ins and outs of William's daily schedule, his business practices, and his financial situation. She was present for his successes and witnessed his challenges. In many ways, she was as invested in the business as he was. Their relationship also produced something even more significant than business success. They had a child together. This beautiful addition to their lives created an unbreakable bond between them, regardless of what happened to their romantic relationship. William wasn't just a successful businessman. He was also a father who loved his child deeply. As his business continued to grow and his reputation expanded, William began to envision a future that might look different from his current situation. Success had given him options, and like many people who achieve a certain level of accomplishment, he started to reconsider what he truly wanted from his personal life. William Todd Austin had built an empire based on second chances and fresh starts. Tragically, he would never get the chance to experience either for himself. The relationship between William Todd Austin and Michelle Williams began with promise and potential. Two driven individuals who found in each other not just romantic compatibility, but also business partnership possibilities. Their connection went beyond typical romantic relationships. They became collaborators in building something larger than themselves. Michelle Williams wasn't simply along for the ride in Williams' business success. She became an integral part of the credit repair company's operations, understanding the intricacies of the business and contributing to its growth. This level of involvement created a unique bond between them, but also established a complicated dynamic that would later prove dangerous. When romantic partners become business partners, the stakes of every disagreement multiply exponentially. A typical couple might argue about household responsibilities or personal preferences, but William and Michelle's disagreements could affect client relationships, business decisions, and financial outcomes. Every personal conflict had professional implications, and every business stress affected their personal relationship. The birth of their child added another layer of complexity to their already intricate relationship. Suddenly, they weren't just romantic partners and business associates. They were co-parents with shared responsibility that would last a lifetime. This child represented the best of their relationship, a beautiful reminder of what they had created together during their happiest moments. Both William and Michelle were strong-willed individuals with clear ideas about how things should be done. In business, this often worked to their advantage, but in romance, it sometimes created friction. Michelle's investment in the relationship went beyond typical romantic attachment. She had built her life around William and their shared business. Her identity had become intertwined with his success, and her future plans all included him as a central figure. This level of emotional and practical investment made the idea of separation particularly threatening to her sense of self. William, meanwhile, began to experience the restlessness that sometimes accompanies achieved success. Having built a thriving business and established financial security, he started to question whether his current personal situation aligned with his evolving vision for his life. Success had given him options, and he began to consider whether those options might include changes to his romantic relationship. Michelle's deep involvement in William's business also meant that a relationship breakup would have significant professional implications. She knew client information, understood business operations, and had relationships with people throughout their professional network. Ending their romantic relationship would require complex negotiations about business responsibilities and ongoing professional interactions. Have you ever seen a business partnership complicate a relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments. As their relationship deteriorated, both William and Michelle struggled with the reality that their connection had become more complicated than either had anticipated. What had started as a partnership based on mutual attraction and shared ambition had evolved into something that felt more like a trap than a choice. William's growing desire for independence and his exploration of other romantic possibilities created a pressure cooker situation. He wanted the freedom to make his own choices about his personal life, but Michelle's reaction to his attempts at independence became increasingly intense and concerning. The relationship that had once been the foundation of their shared success was now becoming the source of their greatest conflict. Neither William nor Michelle seemed capable of finding a healthy way to navigate their changing feelings and evolving needs. Their child remained caught in the middle of this deteriorating situation, an innocent victim of two adults who could no longer find a way to love each other in a healthy, sustainable manner. The same passion that had created beautiful moments in their relationship was now fueling destructive patterns that would ultimately lead to tragedy. The complexity of their intertwined lives made separation feel impossible to Michelle and increasingly necessary to William. This fundamental disagreement about the future of their relationship would ultimately prove fatal for both of them. Every relationship reaches crossroads where difficult decisions must be made, but for William Todd Austin and Michelle Williams, their crossroads became a dead end. The mounting pressures in their relationship had been building for months, creating an atmosphere of tension that affected every aspect of their shared life. William's decision to end their romantic relationship didn't come suddenly or without consideration. Like many people who find themselves in complicated partnerships, he had likely spent considerable time weighing his options and considering the implications of his choice. He had to think about their child, their business, and the inevitable disruption that would follow his decision. The timing of William's choice to move forward with his life coincided with his meeting someone new. This wasn't uncommon. Sometimes people need to see alternative possibilities before they can find the courage to leave unsatisfying situations. For William, meeting someone who offered a different kind of relationship dynamic may have provided the clarity he needed about what he truly wanted from his personal life. For Michelle, however, William's decision to pursue a new relationship felt like the ultimate betrayal. She had invested everything, her emotions, her business energy, her future plans, and her identity, into their partnership. The idea that he could simply choose to walk away and start fresh with someone else was incomprehensible to her. The business they had built together became another source of conflict during this difficult period. How do you separate romantic partners who are also business partners? Who gets to maintain relationships with clients? How do you divide responsibilities and assets when everything has been intertwined for years? Michelle's emotional state during this period became increasingly unstable. Friends and family members who interacted with her noticed changes in her behavior and demeanor. The woman who had once been confident and ambitious now seemed consumed by anger, hurt, and desperation. William's attempt to maintain some normalcy in his life while navigating this difficult transition may have seemed callous to Michelle, but they were probably necessary for his mental health and his ability to continue functioning as a father and business owner. He still had clients depending on him, a child who needed his attention, and a life that required daily management. Michelle's inability to accept the end of their romantic relationship began to manifest in concerning ways. She may have monitored William's activities, questioned him about his new relationship, or made demands about their future that he was no longer willing to consider. The credit repair guru who had spent his career helping people recover from their worst financial mistakes was about to become the victim of someone who couldn't recover from their worst emotional mistake. The woman who had once been his greatest supporter was now his greatest threat, and neither of them seemed to realize just how dangerous their situation had become. March 11th began like countless other days in William Todd Austin's carefully structured life. As a successful business owner, he maintained routines that helped him manage his multiple responsibilities while staying on top of his professional obligations. His appointment at Salon and Spa Galleria in Arlington was part of his regular self-care routine, the kind of maintenance that successful professionals often schedule to maintain their appearance and confidence. The salon itself was a typical upscale establishment, the kind of place where busy professionals could relax while receiving quality services. Located in a bustling area of Arlington, it served clients who value both convenience and quality. The atmosphere was usually calm and professional, with stylists focused on their craft and clients enjoying a brief respite from their hectic schedules. When William arrived for his appointment that Tuesday afternoon, nothing seemed unusual. He likely exchanged pleasantries with the staff, settled into his stylish chair, and began the familiar routine of getting his hair cut. The salon's other clients continued their own appointments, creating the typical buzz of conversation and activity that characterized a busy afternoon. But Michelle Williams knew exactly where William would be that afternoon. Her arrival at the salon marked the beginning of the end for both of them. The woman who had once been William's closest confidant and business partner now approached him with deadly intentions. Whatever internal struggle had been consuming her over the past weeks or months had reached its conclusion, and she had decided that if she couldn't have William, no one could. The moment Michelle entered the salon with a weapon, the ordinary Tuesday afternoon transformed into every business owner's worst nightmare. The other clients and staff members suddenly found themselves trapped in a situation that none of them had any reason to expect or any training to handle. William's reaction to seeing Michelle with a weapon is difficult to imagine. Did he try to reason with her? Did he attempt to protect the other people in the salon? Did he think about their child and the devastating impact this moment would have on their young life? The terror and confusion he must have experienced in those final moments represents every person's worst fear about someone they once loved becoming someone they should fear. The sound of gunshots in the confined space of the salon created chaos and panic among everyone present. The other clients and staff members suddenly found themselves witnesses to an act of domestic violence that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The peaceful atmosphere of the salon was shattered by violence that none of them had done anything to provoke or deserve. Michelle's decision to shoot William while he was getting his hair cut demonstrated the calculated nature of her actions. She had chosen a time and place where he would be vulnerable and unable to escape. The public setting also ensured that her actions would be witnessed and that her message, whatever she believed that message to be, would be heard by others.
This is the moment Arlington police officers arrived at the front doors of the Spa Galleria strip mall on shots fired, recorded on a cell phone. Just after 10 a.m. Friday, police say a 37-year-old woman walked into the South Cooper Street location with a gun and opened fire on a man she had been dating as he got a haircut.
After shooting William, Michelle made a decision to take her own life, completing the murder-suicide that would leave their child orphaned and 2 families destroyed. Her final act eliminated any possibility of understanding her motivations, receiving justice for William, or finding any path toward healing for the people affected by her actions. The immediate aftermath of the shooting created a scene of terror and confusion in the salon. Staff members and clients who had been going about their ordinary business suddenly found themselves in the middle of a crime scene, traumatized by violence they had witnessed but could not prevent. Emergency responders arrived to find 2 people dead and multiple witnesses struggling to process what they had just experienced. The routine call about shots fired at a salon had become a double fatality that would require extensive investigation and ongoing support for everyone who had been present. Police officers trained to handle domestic violence situations found themselves dealing with the ultimate escalation, a case where the victim had no opportunity to seek help and the perpetrator had eliminated herself along with her target. The crime scene investigation would be straightforward in terms of determining what happened, but the why would remain forever unanswered. Both William Todd Austin and Michelle Williams were pronounced dead at the scene, ending not just their lives, but also their child's access to both parents. The little one, who had been the best product of their relationship, was now left to grow up without either parent, raised by extended family members who would have to explain why mommy and daddy were gone. The salon and spa Galleria, which had been a place of beauty and relaxation just hours earlier, was now a crime scene that would require extensive cleaning and emotional healing before it could return to normal operations. The staff and clients who had been present would need counseling and support to process the trauma they had experienced. The Dallas business community that had celebrated William's success now mourned his loss, while struggling to understand how a relationship could deteriorate to such a devastating conclusion. The credit repair guru who had helped so many people rebuild their lives had been killed by someone who couldn't rebuild her own life after their relationship ended. March 11th, what had started as an ordinary Tuesday, ended as one of the most tragic days in the recent history of Arlington, Texas. 2 lives were lost. A child was orphaned, and multiple families were left to grieve and try to make sense of a senseless act of violence. The story of William Todd Austin and Michelle Williams serves as a stark reminder that domestic violence can escalate quickly and fatally, often in ways that leave no opportunity for intervention or prevention. Their tragedy will become a cautionary tale about the deadly potential of relationships that become obsessive and controlling. The tragic deaths of William Todd Austin and Michelle Williams offer painful but important lessons about domestic violence, relationship dynamics, and the warning signs that too often go unrecognized until it's too late. Their story serves as a stark reminder that domestic violence doesn't always follow predictable patterns and can escalate to fatal levels even in relationships that appear successful from the outside. One of the most crucial lessons from this tragedy is that domestic violence can affect people from all walks of life, regardless of their education, financial success, or social standing. William was a respected business owner who had built a thriving company and achieved financial stability. Michelle was his business partner and the mother of his child. From the outside, they appeared to be a successful couple building a life together. Yet beneath the surface, dangerous dynamics were developing that would ultimately prove fatal. The intersection of romantic and business relationships created unique vulnerabilities in their situation. When partners become deeply intertwined professionally as well as personally, separation becomes exponentially more complicated. Michelle's identity had become so connected to William and their shared business that the prospect of losing both relationships felt existentially threatening to her. This case highlights the importance of recognizing when someone's emotional investment in a relationship has reached unhealthy levels. Michelle's inability to accept the end of their romantic relationship, combined with her extensive knowledge of William's daily routines and whereabouts, created a perfect storm for violence. The public nature of William's death, occurring in a busy salon during a routine appointment, demonstrates that domestic violence can strike anywhere at any time. The other clients and staff who witness this tragedy will carry emotional scars for the rest of their lives, reminding us that domestic violence affects not just the primary victims, but entire communities. For those who may recognize similar warning signs in their own relationships or those of people they care about, this tragedy emphasizes the importance of seeking help before situations escalate to dangerous levels. Domestic violence resources exist in every community, and early intervention can sometimes prevent the kind of escalation that occurred in this case. William's story also serves as a reminder that success in one area of life doesn't protect us from dangers in other areas. His professional accomplishments and financial security couldn't shield him from the violence of someone who felt she had nothing left to lose. What state or country are you watching from, and what resources exist in your area for domestic violence support? Share in the comments to help others who might need this information. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please reach out for help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline 1-800-799-7233 provides 24/7 support and can connect you with local resources. Remember that leaving an abusive relationship can be the most dangerous time, and professional guidance can help ensure safety during this critical period. William Todd Austin's legacy should be more than just a cautionary tale. His success in helping people rebuild their financial lives demonstrates a positive impact one person can have when they dedicate themselves to helping others. His tragic death serves as a reminder that we must also be vigilant about protecting ourselves and our loved ones from the dangers that can lurk within our most intimate relationships. The story of William and Michelle is a tragedy that didn't have to happen. With better recognition of warning signs, earlier intervention, and perhaps different choices along the way, 2 lives might have been saved and a child might still have both parents. Their story serves as both a memorial to lives lost too soon and a call to action for all of us to recognize and address domestic violence before it reaches its most deadly conclusion.